they scream at you. Welcome back guys to another video, and what we've got for you today is another JDM legendary car. It is, as you can see behind me, the Honda Integra Type R. This is the DC5 pre-facelift car, and as you're all aware, this is just a Japanese only model, so it is a Japanese import. It's not been in the country for too long, so it is a very tidy example, and it's finished off in can't remember the blue now, yeah, but it's blue anyway, and white wheels, which kind of like does stand out, and it is a very nice head-turning car. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, performance_lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured, drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, and we will be more than happy to accommodate. But yeah, we've got plenty of other JDM reviews on our channel, and a lot of other performance car reviews in general. So yeah, please do feel free to check them out. There's a lot of Hondas on there, so yeah, I'm sure there's something on there for everybody. But for today, I've got another DC5. So yeah, check it out. We'll catch you outside the car. So there it is, the DC5 Type R, Integra Type R pre-facelift car. So, and as you're probably already aware, the pre-facelifts come with these funky rounded off lights, where the facelift ones do have a sort of straight edge. These do look a lot better in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people. We do have a facelift DC5 on the channel. It's a completely standard car if I remember correctly, so yeah, do check that out as well. And we've got plenty of other Hondas, FT2s, EK9s, DC2 98 spec, and a UK one. So but yeah, so the aftermarket additions, then it's got a splitter at the bottom, which I believe just does look like one of them Laguna style splitters from back in the days. It does look quite nice. It's got an aftermarket radiator, a rotor, I can't remember the name of them, but they're rotor wheels anyway, with Yokohama tires on them. And just with them wheels, the blue, the white wheels, actually look how awesome this thing looks. They are a very, very attractive looking car, and a very popular car amongst the JDM community. So it's got the Integra Type R decals there as well, which is a standard feature, and obviously the big spoiler, which is what, you know, it's a standout feature on these things. Brembo calipers on the front, which is a standard thing. They are a bit faded. They do need a bit of TLC, a bit of rub back and re-lacquering or painting. And this one does have these kind of like rubber things mounted onto the wing, and I believe that is just so it stops the stone chips from kicking up. Very good idea, and similar to the ones that I've got on my M2, so it stops all the chips. Clear indicators, standard JDM style wind deflectors, and this, I don't know how the packs work on these cars, but this doesn't have a rear wiper. So I believe the C pack, I think it is, they come with a rear wiper. This one doesn't, and it's not got a push button start as well, but again, it's nothing. It still drives like a DC5 Type R, obviously. It's got a stainless steel exhaust system, I believe is a Kakimoto Regu something, or not Regu R. It does look quite slick, and it does sound actually very, very good. Again, with this being a pre-facelift car, you get the pre-facelift rear lights, obviously, which do have these two little humps on either side. Again, the facelift cars are smoothed off at the bottom here, and I don't think they look as nice as these, to be fair. They don't look quite as aggressive. And then obviously you get your red H, which is the standard thing on the Type Rs, any Type R, UK or JDM. Somebody's got carried away with a few decals on here, but yeah, again, on this side, same story. DC Integra Type R decals, and the wheels. I mean, this thing is actually a beautiful looking car, absolutely stunning looking car. As you can see, it's very difficult to actually find a decent DC5 Type R nowadays, purely because they've been around for a little while now. This car is 19 years old, and it will still keep its own, hold its own against many of the newer performance cars. And on track, this thing will blitz a lot of newer hot hatches and coupes alike. And it is obviously a standard K20A, 220 odd horsepower, which I'll show you in a second. So onto the inside of this car. Again, it does have the blue Recaro seats, which are stunning. They've got a little bit of wear on them, which, to be fair, is standard. It is, like I said, 19 years old. You do get the Integra Type R kick plates here, the sill covers or whatever you want to call them. It's got a red LED there for the alarm. Petrol flap, because the boot is just unlocks with the central locking. Momo steering wheel. Again, it looks like a standard steering wheel like you get in the UK EP3s, but this just comes with a Momo engravement at the bottom. And obviously you get the red H. And with it being a pre-facelift car, you do get these dials as opposed to the facelift dials, which are slightly different. Can't remember how they're different, but they are slightly different. And this has been converted over to miles per hour, hence why there's a black sticker there. And obviously you get the Type R writing on the speedometer as well. And the rev counter, 8,500 RPM, which is absolutely awesome. And again, the interior on these cars, even for its day, weren't overly modern, but these were never designed for modern touches and creature comforts. This was a car that was designed strictly jump into, and you can hammer these things around track and drive them to the track, hammer them around the track, and drive them back home. And they were, you know, they're a very reliable car. A lot of them have fallen into the wrong hands purely because they are a bit old now, but you still do, if you find the right one, they are very reliable, and they will carry on doing, you know, over 150, 160 plus thousand miles without any issues, as long as you maintain them properly. And this, again, like I've said, this is actually a very, very nice example. It's got no intakes, nothing like that. All it's got on it, a performance enhancing modification, is the exhaust system, but that's not even so much performance enhancing, it's more of a noise thing. So it kind of like makes the driving experience a lot better than a standard car, because standard, they are a little bit quiet, on the quiet side. And I think the only thing this thing would benefit from is an open air intake. So it doesn't have to be a Group M, you know, £1,000 intake, could be a Tegua, could be anything really, to be fair, and they sound good. We've got an Accord Euro on the channel, CL7. That thing sounds absolutely amazing on VTEC. It had an intake and an exhaust, and that is the kind of, like, in my opinion, that is the ideal thing that you'd probably like your VTEC Type R to sound like. Honestly, that thing was actually very, very good. So do feel free to check that video out. It is on the channel. But yeah, this is actually, as you can see, they are a four-seater car, 2 seat belts in the back, and Recaro seats again, which, like I said, they are very hugging. As you can see, these bolsters are actually very, very good. And then obviously you get your heater controls here, your stereo, hazard button, indicators on the right, with it being a JDM car, wipers on the left, a couple of cup holders, and then you do even get an Integra Type R plaque here. They're not numbered like the DC2s, but it is there. And this does come with a Skunk 2 gear knob as well, and an aftermarket stereo with the antenna sitting over there. You could just make it out on the window, on the windscreen. Yeah, but other than that, it's actually a standard, bog standard interior, which, to be fair, they are good, very good, to be because what they were designed for, like I mentioned, is the track performance sort of drive, and they fit that bill perfectly fine, even in this day and age. I'll go through that on the actual drive, and you'll understand what I mean. What I'll do is we'll show you under the bonnet, and then we'll go for a quick little blast. It is a beautiful car. It is a very nice, you know, DC5. So under the bonnet, that is the heart of it, the K20A JDM engine. Got a Tegua intake hose, which doesn't really do anything. It's got an aftermarket filter in there, carbon fibre inlet manifold cover, and you got a black spark plug cover here. But other than that, apart from that little sock there, it's a completely standard bay. It is literally a standard engine, should I say, and yeah, it's wicked. Honestly, these things are absolutely wicked. So yeah, what we'll do is, when this train's finished passing by, what we'll do is we'll go for a quick little blast. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, Performance_Lifestyles, and we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And if you'd like your car featured, drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com. And please don't forget to click on that like button as well. It helps with spreading the channel algorithm and stuff. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll catch you on the drive. Yeah, we'll catch you on the drive. So onto the drive of this DC5 Honda Integra Type R. As expected, to be fair, it's the first time I've driven one in a while, and I still to this day believe the FD2 drives a lot more raw, a lot better in a certain respect, but don't let that put you off. These things are still absolutely amazing. They drive so good, and the cars in its era, in its time, you know, back in 2002 when they first come out, didn't drive anywhere near as nice as one of these. These things were literally, you know, they'd run circles around their competition, especially on track. You could buy quicker cars in a straight line, like your German turbocharged cars, for example, but you stick them on track, and I think they stood no chance against the DC5 Integra Type R. And like I mentioned, there's plenty of videos out there on track, these cars, and you'll see what I mean. But you know, even they didn't have no torque, which is one of the biggest things that people ripped the Honda K20 for. But to counter that, there's a lot of turbocharged or supercharged K20 cars out there now, DC5s, EP3s, even EK9s. And we did have an EK9 on the channel a little while ago with a K20 strapped, well, not a K20 strapped on a supercharger, but a supercharger strapped to a K20 and an EK9. So check that out, that was a beauty. But yeah, these things were known for their VTEC, and the VTEC engages at 5,500 RPM. And here we go, let's try second gear. There you go, 8,500 RPM. There's still not a lot out there that can touch these things. Even in standard form, it's not a lot of power, 220 brake horsepower, but it's the way these things drive. Other cars are changing gear way quicker than you will do. You know, 8,500 RPM. There's not really a lot out there that still does that. And Honda have been doing that for many years, for decades. It's from first gear. These things literally scream at you, and they sound so good. The only thing this thing is missing is an intake, an open air filter, and honestly, you'll hear this thing roaring away as well as screaming at you at near 9,000 RPM. They're so good to drive, so rewarding to drive. Newer cars are very quick but boring, and I don't know, these things are just, they're still so good. This is what I say about the M2 that I've got, the competition. It's so good. It feels like a Japanese car to drive, but it's not a Japanese car. They're very focused and very precise and poised, whereas other cars in this era weren't so good, to be fair. The 6-speed gearbox, the gear change is crisp. It's a very short throw, and it obviously comes with a limited slip differential, which you could tell in the corners. It kind of like pulled you into the corners, and it feels so good. These things, you feel very comfortable driving, confident should I say, driving these at a bit of on the limit, because you know it's not going anywhere. I've got something rattling around in the back, but oh, this thing is so good to drive one after a while, and you know, it doesn't disappoint. It still feels as good as when I first drove one. I remember my first one I ever drove was, I bought one, I drove all the way to Inverness to buy it, and it was such a mega car. And they just don't make cars like this nowadays. Oh look, I've got somebody who doesn't want me going past him, even though there's 2 lanes. Pillock. But yeah, they are so good to drive. Everything is where you want it to be. The seats are very hugging, very firm. You're not slipping out of these Recaros, let me tell you that. And the steering wheel, again, it's a very good size, very good thickness, driving position. Everything is spot on with this car. And this is the beauty about these DC5s, or a lot of Japanese performance cars. They got it just right. The 4-pot Brembos do a wicked job of stopping the car, as long as you got good brake pads and discs, obviously. But they're so, you know, they do a good job of stopping the car. Single conventional the other style brake calipers weren't as good, hence why Honda went to Brembo and got the Brembos fitted to these. And again, the Momo steering wheel, again, I believe it was a license thing. They got it on license from Momo, or they can have the Momo printed on a normal EP3 wheel, whichever one it is, I am not too sure, because these do look like a very normal EP3 sort of style wheel. But yeah, like I said, they are so good to drive, so rewarding to drive, and I don't see anybody being disappointed with one. If you've never had one of these before, I highly suggest you try one out. Honestly, try one out. The prices have gone up. You know, these, you could buy these for as little as £6,000-7,000 back in the days, but nowadays you're looking at, yeah, quite a lot more, about double at least. So whilst the opportunity is still there, because I do see their prices rising for these cars. I mean, look at the 98 spec DC2s. I understand they're not selling for 16, 17, 18 grand, whatever they're on for, because I personally don't think there's a lot of people out there that would spend that much money on one of them. You could buy, you know, S3s and Golf Rs and M140s and stuff like that out there. But yeah, for a true Honda fan, you can even buy an FK2. They drive very nice. They're actually very good cars to drive. And we have one on the channel as well, so do check that one out. Again, the only one we haven't got is an FK8, which, so if you do have one, get in touch. Right, so we've hit a bit of roadworks now. That's standard with Burton-on-Trent at the moment. Roadworks everywhere. Can't get anywhere quickly. So yeah, I'm going to conclude the video for now, for today. And I really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Performance Lifestyles. Check us out on Instagram, Performance_Lifestyles. And we're on Facebook as well, Performance Lifestyles. And like I mentioned, if you'd like your car featured on the channel, drop us an email, pflifestyle@hotmail.com, and we will be more than happy to accommodate and get your car on the channel. But as per usual, guys, stay safe, and hopefully we will catch you on the next video.